When I finally surrendered that situation and that person to God, I began to remember who I was intended to be and what God said of me. My heart had been revived when I accepted the love of a father who I knew I could trust. And I wrote Isaac at a piano in a backstage green room on Live Original tour. And as God spoke directly to my heart, he just asked me to trust him. And as I was writing this song, it felt like he was whispering in my ear all of the promises that he wanted me to know and to cling to in the season that I was about to walk into. And I honestly didn't know if I could trust him, but I was so not me and broken that I had no other choice. I needed refreshment, I needed identity, I needed peace. I wasn't the Hollyn that I used to know anymore. I was a shell of who I was. And in that time, I remember just having to be completely open and vulnerable with where I was, not only with God, but with people, with my friends and my family. And it was just a season of completely letting go of everything that I thought I knew and trusting that he had something better for me. I think after I got out of this season of just the lowest place I'd ever been in, there were a lot of lies that I had adopted into my mind about who God was and his character, and it had even revealed parts of me that believed those lies ever since I was young. The fact that God didn't want good things for me, that he was mad at me and always pointing a finger in my face like, you can be better and you can do better at this or that. And there was a lot of striving. I was so tired of striving and trying to be somebody that I wasn't in the eyes of not just my friends or family, but in my job and doing music. I just felt like I couldn't dream anymore and I wasn't creative because there was this pressure that I was putting on myself that everybody wanted me to be someone that I wasn't. And in that time, God just quietly took me into his arms and just whispered the promises of who I was originally intended to be. And I remember getting up in my room and putting on different kinds of music, everything from, hip hop or R&B to worship, and just dancing in my room and letting God just speak to me. And I had never done that before. I just began to know him in a way that was so real to me, and it wasn't just a religion or something that I said, yeah, I'm a Christian and, I read the Bible or whatever. It was intimate and it was real, and it was something that for the first time in my life, I actually grabbed a hold of, and I realized what grace meant. That grace doesn't require me to become someone that I'm not, but to rest in who he made me to be. While writing this song, I didn't know what to call it, and I kept hearing people mention the story of Abraham and Isaac and how parallel my story was to complete surrender, even when it made no sense. I resonated with that so much because I know God was preparing something for me even though I couldn't see it, even though it was painful and I didn't understand. My quote-unquote Isaac was going to be saved no matter how the situation turned out, because God is faithful to me, and I have to believe that what he says will happen. It's outside of his nature to lie, and that's why the final line of the song says, Isaac will be saved. And the same is true for you.